Welcome to Investing Path. Today we're diving deep into the puzzle of China's energy crisis, and at the heart of it lies the unassuming air conditioner. But before we unpack that, think of this. Have you ever compared the US to China in terms of geography and climate? Surprisingly, they're more similar than you might think. Imagine Beijing and Washington, D.C. Their annual temperature patterns mirror each other. Similarly, the warmth of Shanghai aligns with that of Atlanta. The US developed with the luxury of air conditioning, and now, China is following suit, leading to a surge in energy demands. Fast forward to today. China's burgeoning middle class is increasingly seeking out the comforts we often take for granted, and with this rise in personal wealth comes a sharp increase in electricity consumption. Case in point. During peak summer days, nearly half of China's electricity goes toward cooling down structures. Global powerhouses like Europe and the US have stabilized their annual electricity consumption. But China? Their graph is a near vertical line. Rapid development comes with its own set of challenges. Remember the power shortages in late 2021? Those blackouts weren't just about balancing demand and supply, they were symptoms of deeper systemic issues. Amidst this, China faced a scenario that sent shockwaves around the world. Citywide blackouts, factories halting production, traffic chaos, and citizens drawing comparisons to living conditions in North Korea. But let's rewind. To understand the underpinnings of this crisis, we need to look at China's energy backbone: coal. While places like Europe and the US rely on coal for a fifth of their electricity, for China, it's a whopping 62%. The reason? Simple. Coal is abundant and cheap. And as the nation raced to develop, coal was the convenient choice. However, China's energy production landscape isn't all black and white. State-owned enterprises dominate the scene, but they don't operate in a vacuum. They navigate a unique marketplace. The government dictates electricity prices but allows coal prices to ebb and flow with global markets. Spot the problem? And for those of you who are still with us, if you're finding this deep dive enlightening, consider subscribing to Investing Path for more such insights. So, you might ask, what about renewables? They've become cost-competitive globally, right? Indeed. But for China, the best solar and wind potentials are far from its populated regions. Thus, efficiently transporting this renewable energy becomes pivotal. Enter China's ultra-high voltage power lines, a marvel of engineering. These lines can transfer vast amounts of energy across huge distances efficiently. Sounds perfect? There's a catch. By the end of 2020, these lines were utilized at just 60% capacity. This isn't a failure of infrastructure, but a challenge of policy and regional prioritization. Each province is incentivized to buy electricity locally to boost their own economy, often prioritizing coal plants over out-of-province renewables. The events of 2021 were a stark reminder of the fragility of relying heavily on coal. Amid political tensions, China banned Australian coal imports, previously accounting for half of its imported coal. Then, as the nation's industries began to recover post-pandemic, the demand surged, exacerbating the problem. Now imagine if you're an investor in China. As an investor, you might be excited about the booming industries and increasing GDP. But just like a good investor, you'd also keep an eye on potential pitfalls. The rapid economic expansion combined with the glaring energy shortage could be one such pitfall. In Investing Path, we often emphasize the significance of understanding every facet of an economy or a company before investing. And the energy infrastructure in China is one such facet that can't be overlooked. To delve deeper into the matter, China's geographical conundrum further complicates things. While the western regions harbor significant solar and wind energy potential, most of the population and industries lie in the eastern parts. Transferring power across this vast expanse of land isn't just a logistical challenge. It's a financial one too. The extensive infrastructure needed and the huge capital expenditure required have slowed down the renewable transition. But it's not all bleak. One of the silver linings in this complex scenario is China's commitment to innovation. The country has already recognized the potential of emerging technologies like energy storage solutions. Battery storage, for instance, can capture excess energy generated from renewable sources, store it, and release it during peak demand. This can dramatically reduce the country's reliance on coal, especially during energy demand surges. Remember, dear viewers of Investing Path, Whenever there's a challenge, there's also an opportunity. The Chinese energy sector's challenges present immense investment opportunities in the renewable energy space. Companies working on improving the energy storage solutions, grid infrastructure, or even those involved in the manufacturing of solar panels and wind turbines could be the next big winners. However, it's not just the private sector that needs to step up. Policymakers have a vital role to play. There's a pressing need for a policy overhaul that encourages inter-province energy trade, ensuring that renewable energy generated in one province can be consumed in another, without any roadblocks. Such measures could act as catalysts, accelerating China's green transition. Environmentalists globally have been pushing for a reduced reliance on coal, and China's recent energy crisis only amplifies their concerns. Not only does a reduced dependency on coal help curb carbon emissions, but it also ensures a more sustainable, resilient, and efficient energy matrix. The global ramifications of China's energy dilemma are vast. From affecting global coal prices to influencing the geopolitics of energy trade, the ripples can be felt far and wide. As the world watches, the next steps that China takes in its energy journey are pivotal. Will they remain chained to the limitations of coal, or will they champion the march towards a greener, more sustainable future? But before we wrap up, let's touch upon an aspect we haven't yet discussed: the role of international collaboration. As the world's second-largest economy, China's energy decisions have a global impact. It is in the best interest of nations worldwide to assist China in its green transition, given that climate change is a shared burden. International partners, both in the private and public sectors, can offer technological expertise, investments, and policy recommendations to help China navigate its energy challenges. Joint ventures in renewable energy technology could benefit both local Chinese firms and international companies, leading to innovations that might reshape the energy sector globally. Moreover, it's essential to understand that while China's energy crisis is at the forefront now, other countries could face similar challenges in the future. Thus, the solutions and strategies implemented by China, combined with international collaboration, could serve as a template for other nations. Another angle to consider is the role of global finance. With the right investment and financial incentives, the transition to green energy in China could happen at a much faster pace. International financial institutions and investors can play a significant role in facilitating this transition. Lastly, as viewers and investors, it's paramount to approach the situation with a long-term perspective. Immediate gains might be tempting, but sustainable growth and future-proof investments in the energy sector will be the real game-changers in the coming decades. In conclusion, the energy crisis in China is a potent mix of geographical challenges, rapid economic expansion, and infrastructural limitations. But it also offers lessons, not just for China, but for countries globally, on the importance of foresight in infrastructure planning and the immense potential of renewables. Thank you for joining us today on Investing Path. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analysis and investment strategies. Here's to a brighter, greener, and more prosperous future for all.